Gail and Laura back at the Track Shack with all this week's big stories. First of all, Brad Pitt was in town. That's pretty big.
I'm sorry.
You're verklempt.
I am. I admit it.
Brad was over at Fenway Park shooting scenes for his new flick, Moneyball, which is based on Michael Lewis's bestseller of the same name, about Oakland A's GM Billy Beane and this big system he came up with for how to pick cheap baseball players who would win championships.
And what is that system called?
Sabermetrics, my
Very
friend.
good.
And it goes into a lot of detail about the Red Sox dealings with Scott Hatteberg, who was a catcher for the Sox for 7 seasons back in the 90s and early 2000s. And Scott Hatteberg, who's played by Chris Pratt, you know, the shoeshine guy.
Love
in
him.
Parks and Recreation. Isn't he married to Anna Faris?
He is, and he was in her movie. That was in Boston, actually.
Coincidentally. Anyways, he plays Scott Hatteberg, who is what Billy Beane picks as his kind of ball player. He was very patient at the plate. He worked the count. He got on base. He got a lot of walks. Typical stuff that everybody looks for now, but was radical back when Billy Beane came up with this Moneyball system.
But Scott Hatteberg actually was a first baseman for the Oakland A's.
He was a catcher for the Sox. They released him. Billy Beane said, I want him, and said, oh, by the way, you're playing first base. He didn't care about his arm. He had blown out his elbow.
Right.
He just cared that he could get on base. So anyways, the Red Sox come off looking like buffoons in this book. In fact, they said Jim Rice, who was then the hitting coach, would always be yelling at him and telling him he shouldn't be, you know, he should be swinging at more pitches. Everything that they tell you not to do now, the Sox were telling him to do.
So the Red Sox are allowing them to film at Fenway, but they're coming off looking like fools.
Yes, they are not money in Moneyball.
Really?
Now, you know what else Moneyball is famous for? Billy Beane dubbing Kevin Youkilis the Greek god of walks.
But he's not Greek.
No, he's not Greek,
No.
he's Jewish, but he called him Youkilis, the Greek god of walks, because he liked how he could always get on base, much like Hatteberg.
Okay, all right.
However, I'm told, sadly, that Kevin is not in the movie. There's no actor portraying Kevin. However, apparently he is mentioned in the movie.
Well, they could have used Shrek.
They could have used Shrek as a body
Shrek.
double.
Yes,
or
they
Telly
could have.
Savalas back in the day, maybe.
Back in the day.